Lanzarote. People say that when you buy someone a present, you should buy them something they wouldn't buy for themselves. The first time I experienced this was when my Auntie Nora gave me a t-shirt for my 8th birthday with a black and white image of her face on the front of it. The second time was when Suzanne booked us a week in Lanzarote for my Christmas present. I definitely wouldn't have paid to go there myself. The holiday didn't start well. 20 minutes into the flight, there was a call asking there was a doctor on board. As always, there was. I don't know why doctors and nurses are always going on strike for being overworked and not having enough days off, as they always seem to be going on holiday. Saying that, if I was a doctor and the captain asked if there was a doctor on board, I think I'd keep my mouth shut. It doesn't seem fair that you get hassled when you're supposed to be off. I was once on a flight to Copenhagen, and one of the toilets was out of order, but they didn't go hassling any plumbers on board. The flight went back to Stansted and the ill passenger got off. She was an old woman who was having dizzy spells. 4 hours later, we were on the coach on the way to our hotel in the pouring rain. The rep, a chubby girl with curly hair from Yorkshire, was stood at the front with a microphone giving us a load of information. All I remember her saying is that it had been the wettest December in years and that the movie Planet of the Apes was filmed on the island. I wasn't really listening to her. I was more interested in listening to the Scottish couple sat behind us. They were telling the people next to them how they'd been up since 2:30 this morning getting ready from Glasgow to Stansted, and how they only booked the holiday 2 days ago and are being allocated a hotel on arrival. The woman was saying how it's best way of doing it because you get the best deals that way. She went on to say how she needs to have cheap holidays as she's saving to have some work done on her face. They were dropped off first. The place looked pretty grim. I think they were dropped off first so they didn't see how nice the other places that people would be staying at were. As they got off, I had a look at them. The woman looked like Gordon Ramsay with tattoos. She has a lot of saving to do. We were at our hotel 30 minutes later. It was massive. It looked clean enough though, mainly due to the rain that was seeping down the walls and under the doors. As Suzanne signed us in, I watched the hotel staff stuffing beach towels under the doors to stop the rain coming in. There were families sat around the reception area with their cases, smoking as many fags as they could before their flight home. They didn't look very tanned, but looked quite happy to be leaving. I could hear some tribute act singing songs by the Supremes in the family room. One of the staff was called away for making a dam with towels to carry our cases to our room. I said I could manage, but the reception staff said we'd have a problem finding it on our own, even though she'd given us a map of the hotel grounds and marked where the room was. They were right. We would never have found it. We had to go through 6 doors, up 4 floors in a lift, past 2 pools, and then up a few more stairs to our room number 355. There were crowbar marks around the door lock, which I thought would be a nice reminder if we forgot the room number. We sat on the bed and looked at the map of the hotel. It was huge. They should have given us a compass when we signed in. We thought we'd have an early night, so we'd have energy to walk to the canteen area in the morning. The eating area was down in the basement. It was a big L-shaped room with lime green walls lit by about 30 fluorescent tube lights that flickered, probably due to the rain that had seeped through into the electrics. It was self-service and seated around 200 people. There was only one toaster. People were having their picture taken next to a big mound of something we thought was butter that had been made to look like a volcano. Lanzarote is a volcanic island, so everywhere is pretty grey and dusty. It's like one big ashtray. We tried to go on as many trips as we could just to get us out of the hotel, and all of them involved something to do with volcanoes. Now, I do find them amazing, but after seeing about 8, I'd had enough. At the end of the day, they're just holes. After seeing about another 20 holes, we were taken to a house that once belonged to a local artist, Cesar Manrique. He built his house under the hardened lava from the volcanoes, saying that it still had more natural light than the canteen back at the hotel. The tour guide said we would allow us an hour to walk around the house. We were done after about 25 minutes. It wasn't a big place. Here we were, in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by old lava with another 40 minutes to kill. They said the house was preserved as it was when Caesar lived there. There was just one change, a tuck shop that sold overpriced food and drink, and bits of lava. So this is why we were given an hour. The tour guide must have been getting a backhander from the person who ran the place. Captive audience. Suzanne said she wanted a drink, but I said no, because it's a con. 5 minutes after leaving Mr. Manrique's house, the coach pulled up at a roundabout. The guide told everyone that this is where Caesar was knocked down and killed. She then gave us a few minutes to get off and take photos of where he was hit. We didn't get off the coach as it was obviously a dangerous road. The guide said she'd save the best part till last. The coach started to make its way up a big hill. She turned off her mic and the driver turned on the tape deck. It was the theme from 2001, A Space Odyssey. I think the idea was that as the music built to the final finale, we'd turn a corner at the top of the hill and see something amazing. But due to the amount of other coaches going up the hill, plus the tight corners, he had to pause the theme tune. It was replaced with the vehicle reversing horn. He then pressed play again, but he'd mistimed it and we had to put his foot down to catch up. The coach was screeching around the edge of the cliff and everyone was looking a bit worried. We got to the top, but the music finished about 3 seconds too soon. And the amazing bit was revealed with a backing track of Hiss from a walled out old tape. The driver looked well fed up. Anyway, the amazing thing was another bloody volcano. The difference with this one was that there was an expert chucking water down it. 4 seconds later, a jet of steam would come shooting out. We were given 45 minutes to take photos. Christmas Day was a bit depressing. Most people had gone back home on Christmas Eve. We started the day by going for breakfast, avoiding big piles of shit on the way. It turned out to be camel shit. There were 5 of them in the hotel grounds, with fellas dressed as Father Christmas on the back of them. There wasn't much going on in the hotel, apart from a free back wax for all the guests. A lot of people had it done just because it was free. For £10 you could have back, sack and crack done. I've never understood why they sell it in that order. If I had it done, I'd change the order to sack, crack and back. I'm guessing it hurts most on the sack, so get that out the way first. Then move on to the crack, and even just do one long wax strip from crack to back. Anyway, we didn't take advantage of the free offer and went for breakfast. I had some toast for the first time since arriving, as the queue for the toaster wasn't too bad, and then we had a wander down the beach. Everything was going well until we were stopped looking out to the sea and started to look at the people around us. They were all stark bollock naked. It was a nudist beach. An old fella who looked about 79 walked past us. He wasn't totally naked. He wore a hat and glasses and flip-flops. He had a big rucksack on his back and he was smoking a pipe. He gave me a nod as he passed. I don't know if it was his flip-flops that were making the slapping sound or his balls slapping on his legs. I told Suzanne we're not going any further and turned around and headed back. We passed more nude people. There was a woman who came walking out of the sea with a mental amount of pubic hair. It looked like she'd been smuggling seaweed out of the sea. Her husband sat on the beach looking embarrassed. He wasn't naked. I wonder if he knew she was into getting naked before they went on holiday, because he didn't look happy. We had to walk back at a slower pace than normal because we kept getting too close to the old naked man who wore flip-flops and had a dimpled arse. I really don't understand what it's all about. That evening we saw an old fella in the canteen. This time he was overdressed. He had a shirt and tie with blazer, long trousers and sandals with socks. He looked younger with clothes on. On the plane home I saw the woman who looked like Gordon Ramsay. She was really tanned. People who aren't that good looking always tend to tan well.